every single year, there is one constant, there's one thing that everyone knows will happen around the October-November time. We get a new Call of Duty game. And every single year since, 2007, I'd say, that has been a recurring thing that happens every single year at the same time. People get excited in June once they see the full multiplayer reveal, hype builds, game comes out, everyone's crazy about it, and then the interest drops around the February time. So how can this change for the better? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Blank Online back again, coming at you with another video. Today we're talking about the Call of Duty development cycle and how I believe it should change, the problems that it has right now and how we can fix it. I'm not saying that this will fix it. I'm just saying that if I was in charge, if I was Bobby Kotick and I was the big daddy at Activision, this is how I would change the Call of Duty development cycle to not only make better games, but to just genuinely give a better product to the community year in, year out. Or what I would do, bi-yearly. Now, I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm saying you make a Call of Duty game and release one every 2 years. You kind of take a page out of Assassin's Creed books, where Assassin's Creed games were releasing every single year, and yearly they just got more awful as the years went on. Then they took a break. Then they came back, and now they're making genuinely decent Assassin's Creed games, which is what I kind of want here from Call of Duty. Well, not kind of, this is what I do want from Call of Duty. For too long, we have had the same development cycle, and if you don't know what the development cycle is, let me educate you on what that is. Every single year, a game releases, whether that be from Infinity Ward, Treyarch, or Sledgehammer. Once that game releases, the development studio are instantly into development mode for the next game, because by the time that it is time for them to be the next developer, they theoretically should already be a year into development for their next game. So with Treyarch right now, with Cold War, they're already working on whatever their game's going to be in 2023, because they need the time to develop that game. They need the time to actually make it, because you can't make a Call of Duty game in a year's time, and if you think that is the case, then you will be greatly mistaken. Back in the day when it was just Infinity Ward and Treyarch making the game, so it was on a like a 2-year development cycle, which is what we said back in the day. It was, say for example, Infinity Ward releases Modern Warfare 3, and as soon as Modern Warfare 3 is released, they go straight to work on Call of Duty Ghosts, because they need to be ready for the year after Treyarch's next game, which was Black Ops 2. And I guess you all know how that went, and how poorly Call of Duty Ghosts was, and then introduced Sledgehammer, which made the 3-year development cycle, and the 3-year development cycle meant the developers had more time. But what I am proposing here is that you give the developers even more time to not only work on their new game, but support the one that just came out, because the problem that we have right now with the current development cycle is that the game gets rushed to release, so that when the game releases, it's an unfinished, buggy, no content cesspool of nothingness, and then by the time it's ready for the next Call of Duty game to come out, the game is finally in its complete state. Well, the previous game is finally in its complete state, stacked with all the maps from the seasons, stacked with all the weapon balancing changes that everyone wanted, stacked with all the bug fixes that everyone wanted. The game just feels complete by the time it's ready for the next game to take its place. So we can't really enjoy the game that we were meant to get when it came out. So what this bi-yearly cycle would do, it would give the developers more time than they already have to develop their games, to polish their games, so that when we get the game on release day, it's not a beta version of what the game is. We get what we get now in 6 months time when the game releases, so we get a full finished product, and that's what we're not getting, and that is what my proposed idea will bring us, is more time for developers to make their fucking game. But not only that, by giving the current game, let's give Black Ops Cold War for an example, giving Black Ops Cold War 2 years as the mainline Call of Duty game, what you're doing is you're just, I guess, giving that game more love, if that makes sense. So if we get a Cold War where the game has not released in a finished state, by the let's just argue season 6 is when finally we get all the content and finally we get all the changes that we wanted from Cold War, and finally we get what is looked at as a complete game. And instead of just switching on to Vanguard, we have, okay, so we have another year of Cold War and we have another year of this game in a state that it's actually playable in, kind of thing. And if we got that from the start as well, as a result of this new development cycle, then all that can be focused on is supporting the game in terms of weapon balancing, bug fixes, that sort of stuff, bringing new content into the game, and genuinely putting an effort and giving a shit about making this game last. Because the way that this current development cycle works is that you don't give games time to last. You don't give Call of Duty games time to sort of really be fleshed out and really be played and really be experienced and really be enjoyed, because you're constantly thinking, why would I give a shit about going for dark matter when in 6 months time dark matter is not going to mean anything because we have Vanguard coming up? So why would I grind and why would I play and why would I bother about Cold War when there's something else coming? If there was nothing else coming for another year and a half after like 6 months of Cold War, then of course you'd put the time and you'd put the effort and you generally go and try and play the game, because now that it's in its finished state and now that you know that there's no Call of Duty game coming in the next couple of months, you pretty much are forced to play the current Call of Duty game. And if the developers are supporting that game in terms of content on a regular basis to keep the game fresh and to keep the game engaging, then you won't have any problem of doing so. The problem that we have right now is that developers are working on the next Call of Duty game already. Treyarch is already working on their next game in terms of conceptualizing what they want the game to be and all this sort of stuff. So their minds and their gears are already focused on Call of Duty 2023, whereas now in 2021, Cold War is a sad limp penis of a game, essentially. So by making these games bi-yearly, you can continue to have Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, Treyarch. Like, you can do that if you want to, and that's just going to add more time for these developers to sort of take a break, gather themselves, and then go again type of thing. Because I do think we are also seeing a very much we're seeing a sort of creative slump at the moment in both Infinity Ward and Treyarch especially, because these guys, think about it, since 2007, right? So these guys have been doing this for time. They've been pumping out Call of Duty games every single year. All they know is Call of Duty and all they know is Call of Duty development. So to have a little bit more time to sort of step back, gather yourself once again, and then get your ideas together to then go, we're eventually going to see better games from that, because we have developers that have had time away to think about what they want to do with the game, and then they go again and they have a fresh mind and they're sort of rejuvenated and they're more motivated than ever and they're ready to go to make a good Call of Duty game. Because that's what this all comes down to. We need better Call of Duty games. What we are getting is not good Call of Duty games. What we're getting is beta versions of Call of Duty games that eventually get finished by the time the year is up, and by that time there's already another one on the horizon and the cycle starts again. It wouldn't surprise me if Vanguard was in an unfinished state when it releases this year sometime in October or November, and when Vanguard does get released and it's buggy as hell and there's barely any maps and there's barely any guns and there's nothing to do in the game and it's super boring yet again and it's just another DLC for Warzone, I'm going to think about this video and think what could have changed if you gave Sledgehammer more time. But that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Do you think that Call of Duty games should release every 2 years, or do you have another suggestion for me? Let me know all that stuff down below. Click subscribe if you're new here so you don't miss out on my next video. Click like as well because it does help out in the algorithm. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Girl, I thought you was the realest thing. Stick together, get a real estate, but you fucked around, started playing games. Different lives, but it felt the same. You the reason why I ride this way. Got a rhyme and got a band now. So recently in these past days, I've settled down. Took a while, but I'm settled now. Be around, you know I can't allow. Think of you when you're not around. Now I'm thinking about the checks now. You the reason why